Good evening. Rice will be sold at 20 pesos per kilogram in the Visayas region, according to the Department of Agriculture. In a press briefing on Wednesday, April 23, Agriculture Secretary Francisco Teodoro Jr. says this initiative will be piloted in Western Visayas, Central Visayas, and Eastern Visayas. He says the program will run until December, but it may be extended until February 2026. According to the DA chief, President Bongbong Marcos also instructed the DA to formulate a plan to sustain the program until 2028. Tio Laurel says there is also a plan to implement the 20 peso per kilo rice program nationwide. Through the program, Tio Laurel says the DA will release its 358,000 metric tons of rec buffer stocks in warehouses. According to the agriculture chief, the purchase of such rice is capped at 10 kilograms per week. He adds this can happen once the government has sorted out all logistical issues to see how to operate, launch, and manage it. Tio Laurel earlier Wednesday joined a closed-door meeting with Marcos and 12 Visayas governors at the Cebu provincial capital. The president previously promised to bring down the price of rice to 20 pesos per kilo during his 2022 election campaign. Defense Secretary gov't Teodoro says India already sent the second batch of BrahMos cruise missiles to the Philippines. In an ambush interview on Wednesday, April 23, Teodoro says this batch of missiles is already on the way, confirming reports by India's English language newspapers. Teodoro assures that the government is doing what it can to use the missiles properly. Citing an unnamed defense source, the New Indian Express previously reported that a second battery of the missile was exported from India to the Philippines. In April 2024, the first of the 3 batches of BrahMos cruise missiles from India arrived in the Philippines through an Indian Air Force transport aircraft. The Philippines is the 3rd Southeast Asian nation to acquire the world's fastest supersonic anti-ship missile system. In 2022, the Philippines and India signed an 18.9 billion peso deal to equip the Philippine Navy with 3 batteries of the fastest anti-ship cruise missile in the world. Former Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana said the missiles will provide deterrence against any attempt to undermine our sovereignty and sovereign rights, especially in the West Philippine Sea. Defense Secretary gov't Teodoro says it is the Chinese government fueling anti-Chinese sentiment and not the Philippines. In an ambush interview on Wednesday, April 23, Teodoro was asked about China's accusation that the Philippine government is causing sinophobia or hatred towards China and its people. Teodoro says the Chinese Communist Party and Chinese President Xi Jinping are the main cause of xenophobia. Teodoro believes China is fueling xenophobia not only worldwide but also within its own people. Earlier April, the Chinese embassy in Manila issued a travel reminder citing alleged harassment to Chinese nationals visiting the Philippines. While the original text is in Chinese, a quick machine translation of the travel advisory shows the embassy alleged frequent interrogation and harassment of Chinese citizens and businesses. The palace assured that the Philippine government was not harassing nor targeting any particular nationality. The Commission on Elections is expecting to complete the delivery of ballots and automated counting machines for the 2025 midterm elections by May 1. In a media forum on Wednesday, April 23, Comelec Chair George Garcia says ballots shipped to the offices of treasurers by April 30, while the machines should be delivered to the teachers by May 1. Garcia says this is for the conduct of the final testing and sealing. According to Garcia, the final testing and sealing will be held from May 2 until May 8. Garcia explains that during this procedure, the teachers serving as electoral board members will test the machines and official ballots among 10 registered voters in every polling precinct. Garcia adds that the 10 voters will be able to cast their votes as part of the testing. The Comelec chief says that after the final testing and sealing, the ACMs will be sealed and stored in the polling precincts. The machines will be secured by members of the Philippine National Police and the Armed Forces of the Philippines. The Comelec began shipping official ballots nationwide on Tuesday, April 22. He notes that the custody of the ballots belongs to the city or municipal treasurers. The automated counting machines, batteries, and ballot boxes are under the supervision of local Comelec officers. The Supreme Court formally charged retired Court of Appeals Associate Justice Visayas with gross misconduct over his alleged involvement in the murder of a lawyer in 2020. In a press conference, Supreme Court spokesperson Camille Ting says Dikdikan is facing gross misconduct charges for his alleged involvement in the murder of attorney Joey Luis Piwi. The Supreme Court is directing Dikdikan to file an answer within a non-extendable period of 10 days from notice. With the charge being administrative in nature, Ting says Dikdikan may face disbarment as a penalty. Another possible penalty Ting cites is not receiving his pension anymore. Wee was shot and killed by two assailants on November 23, 2020 at the ground floor of a building in Cebu City where Dikdikan's law office was located. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.